the show. Welcome back to Lost in the Dark podcast, everybody. I am your host. I am solo again tonight. I kind of want to start off by apologizing to the probably very few listeners that we currently have. I promised at least a solo episode a week until the other hosts and I get back into a new rhythm, kind of. Then the following week, Preston and I had full intention of recording an episode, and I in fact went out and saw him in Flint, but some things came up, and that didn't end up happening, sadly. And then I actually did record an episode for you all at about 2 or 3 or 4 a.m. on the 4th of July, like the morning of the 4th of July, like 3, 4 a.m. And then when I came back a couple days later to post the episode, I saved it, and then I closed the program, and then my computer informed me that there wasn't enough disk space to save it. So all that was actually saved was essentially an empty audio recording with no words on it, so I couldn't really post an hour-long moment of silence. So I did have an episode recorded for you guys, but the computers fucked us again, and now officially Lost in the Dark has 2 lost episodes. But hey, I mean, out of, I think this will be 26, so we should be at 28, but we're at 26. We're not doing so bad, I don't think. It's not bad. A couple technical issues. Hopefully they will never cost us an entire fucking episode again, but shit, we'll see. So, I did want to let everybody know what was up with that and apologize for that. And this is the first time I've really been able to sit down and get something out in a little while. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I hope everybody had a very happy and safe 4th of July. I had some fun. Didn't go to any like fireworks shows, but I watched some happening around the house that I was at. Yeah, I mean, had some barbecue. 4th of July. What else are you gonna do? It was beautiful out. It was hot as fuck, but I love that. I don't get why people are bitching. Like, I don't get it when people are complaining about 90-degree heat, because we live in Michigan and we don't get heat very often. In fact, most of the year, if you spend too much time outside, you will die just because you're outside. So I prefer weather where it can't just kill you for no reason just because it's too fucking cold. But that's just me, I don't know. But yeah, it was beautiful out. Yeah, and it was a good time. Nothing too crazy. Hopefully other people had a fun and crazy, safe one. One of the main thing, I'm going to be honest, the episode I recorded late that night was under the influence a little bit of alcohol. So, I don't remember everything that I went over, but I do remember 2 very specific things. First things first, I want to start off. Last episode posted was the first solo episode. It was also the first time I talked about myself and Dragon Maloik, who I actually today completed her final, like, the last fucking cage I'm ever gonna build for this damn thing, and this is like number 3 or 4 now. But it's a fucking mammoth. We're talking about a small room. Like, my lizard's cage, I can open it has a door, a full-size door. I can step into it and stand up straight, and my head will not be hitting the ceiling. It's fucking insane. I think it's 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and about 3 feet deep. Typically, they don't require something quite that large. Generally speaking, you're gonna want it. You're almost always gonna want it to be 6 feet tall, because they do have a lot of anxiety when they're down low. So they like to be up high and perched and stuff like that. So you do want them. Well, honestly, you want them in between 5 and 6 feet tall, so that way depending on who you are and your size or whatever, when they're sitting at the highest point in their cage, they want to be at least like eye to in between eye and chest level. So somewhere in there, that's kind of the sweet spot that you're going for. So you do usually want it to be between 5 and 6 feet tall, between 4 and 5 feet wide. I would go on the larger end of 5 feet, and usually you want it 4 feet deep. So what I have is a little bit of overkill, but I got it for an unbelievably amazing price. I think I got it for like $100 on Facebook Marketplace. So, and I got it like 2 years ago, and the parts have been sitting in a garage since, and just literally yesterday and today were assembled finally. And I moved her into it today, and as a result, I'm now sitting and recording this to you live from Studio 3.0. This would be the third sort of studio I've built in my room here. Not built, that's overkill, but like where I've decided to record. It's not a studio, it's in my fucking room. But regardless, it's called The Crypt. From now on, wherever Lost in the Dark is recorded from, Lost in the Dark is recorded from The Crypt. That's our studio name. That's just a fun recent thing we did, kind of like like we've said before, until I discover, because I haven't done the research yet, but until I discover whether or not, like, I'm pretty sure nobody else has this, but as soon as I confirm that, whenever we review something, it'll be out of 5 go-heads, as long as no one else is using that yet. But the thing I wanted to talk about, Sailfin Dragon, so the last episode, I fucked up. I said I said 2 things sort of incorrectly. I said there are 3 types of Sailfin dragons, A, and then B, I only went on to describe 2 of them. I never even fucking mentioned the third. So when I listened to that back, I was like, I'm an idiot. I am and I am an idiot. So I do want to correct that mistake. I did, however, on that episode, talk about the amazing man, Mr. Scott Corning, the breeder of my dragon, and many, many others. Yeah, and the owner of sailfindragon.com, where I'm getting the information I'm about to give you. Okay, so first of all, there are 4 different types of sailfin dragons. Mine, and the one I like the most, Hydrosaurus pustulatus, the Philippine sailfin. These are only found and available through a few breeders in the United States, because now they are protected in the Philippines as they are endangered. Pustulatuses are illegal to export, as well as it is illegal for anyone in the Philippines to even possess one. So she's an endangered species, essentially, unless you get it, obviously, from a breeder in the United States. That's what my dragon is. The second kind of like most common one I was finding when I was initially started doing my research was Hydrosaurus weberi. Weberi. Weber, however you want to. I've heard it pronounced weberi, so that's what I go with. They are of Indonesian descent. These are the smallest and leanest bodied of the sailfins, and tend to have an attitude like no other. These guys are the most flighty of the species, but they are absolutely gorgeous, and they are very, very pretty. See, one of the biggest differences between them, as far as we know, because like I said last time, not a lot of research has been done on these guys, which blows my fucking mind because they're goddamn living dinosaurs. One of the big thing that separates them, though, all the different kinds, is how they look. Philippine sailfin is famous for how the blue and purple highlights that it gets, the males. The weberi, they stay more like green with like black spots and stuff like that. Another one of the different kinds of the species is Hydrosaurus amboinensis. also referred to as the Indonesian giant. They are the heaviest bodied and largest of all sailfins. They are also of Indonesian descent, obviously. They're very uncommon to find as an import, almost impossible, but a few breeders do exist in the United States, including Scott Corning and uh, Jay from Jay's Arboreals. And if you're interested in getting one, those are the two guys I would highly recommend. They're more chill. They're kind of more laid back than the Pustulatus or the Webri. And then the final is the Hydrosaurus integrate. Integrades are an animal that occur in a zone between two species habitats and share those characteristics of both. Integrades are a naturally occurring cross between Amboinesis and Webri. These are the most common imports and tend to have the best and calmest personalities as adults of all the species, especially the females. So there you go. On the original episode, the last episode that I did about the dragons, I said there's only 3. First one, blah, blah, blah. Second one, blah, blah, blah. And then moved on. Never mentioned. So first of all, I was wrong. There's 4, not 3. And second of all, I never even mentioned more than 2 last time. So I wanted to correct that mistake, definitely. Because, seriously, these things are a gigantic passion. Like, I just spent two days assembling a gigantic structure inside of my room for a little lizard. She's getting pretty big, though. I think she's almost, like, probably in between 3 and 4 feet long now. And, actually, I believe this week she'll be turning 3. So that's fun. Gonna have to get her some super worms and blueberries. I swear to fucking God, it's hilarious to watch a lizard go apeshit for blueberries. It's awesome. It's a great experience. Okay, though. Moving on from sailfins. The next thing that I know that I talked about on the Lost in the Dark episode 2 was Vinny Paul. I think one of the things I remember saying was that it was weird that I hadn't posted about him yet. And well, we did on Facebook. Maybe no, I don't think we did on Instagram. We should have, but we did on Facebook. And but I did feel weird, like, not having talked about it with anyone yet. Because one of the things you got to understand, people, is that the reason why there's only, like, a few regular people on this podcast is because, like, where we live, there aren't a lot of metalheads. But, honestly, metalheads are probably super spread out in general, but I feel like probably in bigger cities, at least, there's more. You know what I'm saying? Just like everything. But here in Michigan, in mid-Michigan at least, Lansing, Flint area, not a whole lot. So, like, when I'm not, and Preston lives in Flint. Aaron does also live here in Lansing, but he's been incredibly busy lately. I haven't really had an opportunity to talk with anyone about Vinny Paul. So it felt weird, you know what I mean? And I wanted to make it, talk about it on here at least. Because it affected me, you know what I mean? In a big bad way, like, okay. So, my introduction into heavy metal music, because before I found heavy metal, I didn't really even, like, I liked, like, whatever song the kid at school liked or said was cool or whatever, you know what I mean? I didn't have an opinion on music, really. I wasn't a music person, I wasn't a music geek until I found heavy metal. And so before, I was just kind of into, like, whatever. And then when my uncle started introducing me to things like Metallica and Megadeth, you know damn well Pantera was right there. They were responsible in a gigantic way for introducing me and getting me into the music that I love today. My favorite album by them will always, and I didn't realize this, but apparently this is not the popular opinion. I always thought this is the one everybody liked, because it was just like the first one I liked, and I assumed whoever was showing it to me was showing me like the most popular one or whatever, you know what I mean? But my favorite album by them is Vulgar Display of Power. I listened to that album on the bus to and from school in high school, like as a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, every fucking day for months and months and months and months. And I always had it all the way up, so I know whoever was sitting next to me was probably annoyed as fuck. But oh my god, like, Vulgar Display of Power, Cowboys from Hell, Great Southern Trendkill, like, these fucking albums, Pantera is such an amazing band, responsible for so much of the influence of my current musical preferences. When Dime died, at that point in time, I had like started to find other stuff. So like that first wave of metal bands that got me into it all, I was moving on, branching out. You know what I mean? And I remember that day when Dime died. I remember my uncle telling me, and keep in mind, this is, early on. Nobody had smartphones yet or anything like that. And my uncle and I were driving. I remember where we were. We were like in this area near my house that's like a shopping center called Frandor. We were fucking in Frandor driving through, and he went, Dimebag fucking Daryl died. And at that point in time, admittedly, like, I didn't know names of people in bands, so I was like, who's that? And he's like, it's the fucking guitarist to Pantera. And I was like, oh my god. And then he told me how, and Jesus fucking Christ. And now, but I did see an interview once with Vinny Paul that said, like, at the end of the day, he died doing what he loved. He died on stage. Like, literally, I saw an interview with somebody. I think it might have been that same interview, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Like, I just can't remember. But I know I saw a whole thing about Dimebag, and someone that knew him or something like that said it's probably the way. If he could have picked, he would have probably wanted to die on stage, kind of a thing. So, maybe that's just us coming up with bullshit to comfort ourselves, and that's probably all it is, but even so. Regardless, one piece of all this is Dimebag was buried in a Kiss casket. Vinny was as well, which is just awesome. Vinny, and I never had an opportunity to see Dimebag, but I have seen Vinny multiple times touring with Hell Yeah. And as far as live drummers go, to this day, top 3 I've ever seen, without hesitation. Like, he actually had the real showmanship involved. You know what I mean? Like, he's not just up there playing drums, like, that's it. Like, he was a part of the show. And honestly, I haven't taken as deep of a dive as I should have on Hell Yeah yet, but I'm not so far of all the songs, and it's not many. So this is this is an unfounded opinion, but I haven't found many Hell Yeah songs that I like on the CD, But I also haven't sat down and listened to a full CD. So again, this is like a crazy, weird, just a, loose opinion. However, they are one of those bands where, and earlier this year I was proven wrong about a different one, but they are one of those bands where I say, I don't really like them on the CD that much, but live they're fucking amazing. They put on a hell of a show. And I also used to say that about Goat Whore, but then I got some Goat Whore CDs and I realized I was full of shit. So maybe I just need to pick up some Hell Yeah CDs, but that's live, unbelievable, and I'm so thankful to have gotten to see him a couple times. And the Metal Sucks podcast had a great episode with Dez from Devil Driver talking about the Outlaw Countries album, which was released 3 days ago, last Friday. My pre-order still has not arrived, which I'm pretty salty about right now, honestly. Like, my fucking pre-order for the Burn the Priest CD got there like the next day. What the fuck is up, Napalm? Come on. But once I get it and listen to it, there will be a review. Of course, we've been talking about it for a while. We've been posting lots about it. And listen to that interview with Dez on Metal Sucks. It is an amazing interview. This album is a fucking just nothing but a passion project for him, and it's such a cool thing to hear about and see actually happen. I'm very excited. I really want to hear it. At the beginning of that Metal Sucks podcast with Dez, they have a long moment where they're talking about Vinny, and all of the hosts of that podcast had the opportunity to meet him and see him live, and like apparently he was just the absolute fucking nicest guy on the earth. Like the kind of like they told a story about like like if he's just out in public, like tons and tons of people will come up to him and ask for an autograph and pictures and all that stuff, and he will just stand there and love it and like talk to everybody and get to know everybody and fucking super supportive kind of. Dude, Vinny fucking Paul, according to the Metal Sucks podcast, Vinny fucking Paul would be at other bands' shows. Like, he'd go to shows where he lived and be in the front fucking row for small local bands every fucking night. Kind of shit. Like, man, can you imagine? Can you imagine fucking being in like a smaller band, even if you're opening up for a bigger one, you're like in a smaller band, wherever you look out in the front row and Vinny fucking Paul is standing there banging, maybe not full bang, but like at least like bobbing his head to your fucking music. Like, oh my god, that would be fucking insane. Like people, and that's like the place where everyone's gonna fucking recognize him, a fucking metal show. You know what I mean? Holy shit, man! Like. Such a good fucking guy and such a huge fucking loss. But apparently I think I read he had like a massive heart attack, but he passed away in his sleep. So hopefully it was peaceful. God, such a loss, man. Well, rest in peace, Vinny. Have a fucking drink of fucking Lemmy with Lemmy and Dime and Bon and Randy and Cliff. God, Dio. Too many. Too fucking many. Which is why people always go to the shows you can go to. See these people when you get the fucking chance. It is a transformative experience. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about Vinny Paul, how, this is a heavy metal podcast, and we all definitely felt that loss here. Like, one of the guests that's been on the show, actually, one of the first handful of episodes, like the first 10 episodes, our friend Matt was a guest on the show. He has actually met Vinny Paul. He is the one of us that actually got the opportunity. So, you know what I mean? He touched a lot of lives, and his music will live on forever. So, rest in peace, buddy. Okay, moving on. Next up on the concert docket is this coming Saturday, actually. This coming Saturday, the guys I was just talking about, motherfucking Devil Driver, will be down in Battle Creek, Michigan, at the Music Factory, a venue I have not been to yet. However, do look forward to going to and checking out. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited for that. If you are going to that show, I'll be there with a Lost in the Dark shirt on, so come say hi. On that Metal Sucks podcast, Des did talk about this. Like, I think the tour that they're doing right now is only like 6 dates. Like, and 2 of them are here in fucking Michigan, so that's pretty awesome. But he didn't. He said that the Outlaw Country record is not a touring record. Like, he's like, we knew we were in a situation where it was going to take a little bit longer than normal to put out the next Devil Driver album, so we wanted to put out something intermediate, in between. But the next Devil Driver album is very close on horizon. Like, I think he's talking early next year kind of release shit. So yeah, I'm really just fucking always ecstatic when they come to town. So really happy and excited to be seeing them out. Definitely. Hopefully I'll have the fucking album before that and get to listen to it and then give y'all a fucking giant review show with the new album and the concert and everything and the new venue. So yeah, and check out the Facebook and Instagram. We'll be posting tons of fun stuff on that day for sure. One interesting thing I do want to mention, I haven't had a chance to really research this yet because it was just sent to me. Let's see here. It was just sent to me, but a buddy of mine sent me a Facebook message that says ticket alert from Man's Warped Tour. And what it says here is there's even been an update. Holy shit, since the last time I read this. So this is breaking news. So the original post was them saying, "We are aware you can no longer buy tickets to the show. According to the back-end system, the show is sold out." I don't know what back-end system is. we are in touch with the promoter to try and get additional tickets released. Follow this thread for updates for the next 2 days. And then there was an update posted. Update. We were able to get 900 tickets put back onto the system. They are selling fast. Grab yours now. And then there's a link to Ticketmaster. So, 9? They're saying the show's sold out? And they're sitting on 900 tickets? 900 tickets. 900. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? Holy shit. And they had to get in touch with the promoter, so maybe it was still though, man. I don't fucking know. God, that's just something seems so fucking fucky with all this. I'm gonna have to dig a little bit more into that, see what the fuck is actually going on. Like, holy shit. Something seems real fucking fishy with that. Let's see what else. Dying Fetus just announced a tour. That's pretty cool. Check that out. They're coming to Michigan. I think they're coming to the Machine Shop, actually. They always put on a really great show. I will offer a quick review, I guess, of, I did watch the Season 2. Oh, actually, I got a couple things. I watched Season 2 of Luke Cage. Fucking outstanding. Bushmaster is one of the most badass fucking villains. Like, the lady with... damn it, I always forget her goddamn name, but the lady with the fucking metal arm is a fucking badass. Yeah. You got fucking Danny Rand, Iron Fist shows up. And honestly, the part that he shows up in this is better than all of his parts combined in his own first season and Defenders. Like, he was just nothing but a badass in this, in his cameos. He had like a good, like, episode or two long cameo in Luke Cage. It was fucking outstanding. Definitely check that the fuck out. Oh my god, it was a great watch. Another quick review I will offer. I did get a chance over the weekend. I went with my dad and sister to see Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, I've only seen the first one once when it was originally released. I really think I need to go back and watch that because I feel like it was a lot better than I remember, kind of a thing. However, Ant-Man and the Wasp, on first watch, it was outstanding. You know, I saw a review that I kind of agree with, like, not, you know, I wouldn't put this in a list of essential Marvel movies, but fantastic nonetheless. The Wasp is awesome. I've actually been waiting a long time to see the Wasp in action. I had a few Wasp, Ant-Man and Wasp comics, and I always liked the Wasp more, because she could, like, fly and shit, and has a cooler name. And, just nothing but good. And, you know what? I'm gonna offer a couple theories. If you haven't seen it, turn it off now. Alright? If you haven't seen the movie, turn this off now, because there's some spoilers coming ahead. First one would be, okay, so the story is also following Hank Pym and his daughter, the Wasp, because they're kind of on the run from the government ever since the Sokovia Accords, and Ant-Man having helped Captain America in Civil War. And because of the Sokovia Accords, they're kind of like on the run and shit because of Ant-Man. So they're kind of salty with him, and he's like on house arrest because of the Accords and blah blah, this and that. So they're kind of like on the run. So in order to kind of continue to conduct their work, they have to like buy shit from like the black market. And there's a character throughout the whole movie who is their like seller, who's like chasing him down and shit. He's not like the main guy or whatever, he just keeps popping up. But that's important. He seems like a throwaway thing, but he kept popping up. Marvel doesn't do that. They don't have throwaway things. And all he said was, the people I work for are very dangerous. Oh, I don't know if this is it or not, but I did see some speculation online suggesting that it's possible his employers, or his employer, rather, is Norman Osborn. Also, I saw something suggesting that Norman Osborn purchased the former Avengers Tower in downtown New York. Because we now know that the Avengers base is like in upstate New York somewhere or whatever. But the tower may have been purchased by Norman. And I think if they do that, that's just fucking awesome. Such a good idea. It's such a great way to put Norman on a different level than we've ever seen him on screen. You know what I mean? If he's got parts moving around to fucking in other movies and stuff like that, if he purchased the fucking Avengers Tower, that's just genius. That's just genius. Okay, spoiler number 2, and this is the one I'm most excited about. So, in the movie, we find out that Hank Pym's wife Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, and his wife, the original Wasp, she got trapped in the quantum realm. She went into the quantum realm to stop a fucking nuclear bomb and got trapped there. So, they go to save her, and when they're saving her, guess what she says? She's like talking about how she's different now and being in the quantum realm changes you. And he says something and she goes, "No, it's more like an evolution. It changes you. It evolves you. What else do we know is an evolution? Something referred to as the X gene. So maybe this is our first nod at the quantum realm having something to do with incorporating the X-Men into this universe? Maybe not. Maybe it's a stretch. But I will say this. Every word that's spoken in a Marvel movie at this point has meaning. There is nothing that is throwaway when the stakes are this high. When Thanos snapped his fingers, there's nothing. Everything is meticulously planned. So, I loved the movie though. I thought it was excellent, and the ending made me jump the fuck up out of my seat. And the second post-credit scene the second post-credit scene was a fucking waste. You can leave the theater after the first one, honestly. They showed it to us in the goddamn trailer. That was the fucking trailer. The second post-credit scene was in the fucking trailer. It was when the fucking ant was playing the drums. Really does, see, that, you know what? I just said there's nothing throwaway, but that seems throwaway. Maybe there's more to it. Because what's controlling the ant? Why would they have a big ant? He's off house arrest. The ant was there. Wait a minute. There's something going on with that scene that's been on the surface that I didn't realize until now. Haven't figured it out yet. If I do, I'll let you know. But, okay, so in the movie, Ant-Man is under house arrest. So Hank and the Wasp sneak him out by putting his ankle bracelet on a human-sized ant that is programmed to just do his daily routine. So it looks, to the police watching him, it looks like he's still there. However, by the time the second post-credit scene happened, he was already done with house arrest. He was released. He's fine. He's all good. So why would the ant still be there playing his drum set? I don't know. Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to shoot out some quick reviews, offer a couple cool, interesting thoughts about some of those things. It'll probably be a while, honestly. No new Marvel movies come. The next thing I'll review from Marvel will be fucking, hopefully, fingers crossed for Daredevil in October, but that'll get released. Check out San Diego Comic-Con. All the Netflix Marvel stuff is going to be at San Diego. But, more importantly, guess what else is going to be at San Diego Comic-Con? Godzilla 2 King of Monsters coming out May of next year, 2019. Featuring Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. Oh my god. It's gonna be outstanding. And they're gonna be at Comic-Con, so hopefully we'll get a little taste. Fingers crossed. That is something that will be talked about a lot on this show, so strap in. Because literally, I was following the production of the first one that came out a couple years ago since it was announced. And I've been following it all since then. So that would put this almost at an 8-year long just constantly following these movies. And love them. Oh, one cool thing, actually. Doctor Who coming back October, I think. And you can still find it. A minute-long scene got leaked online, and a couple images that show what the Doctor's new screwdriver is going to look like, and a minute-long scene of the new actor playing the Doctor. First time female. And I thought it was great. I watched the whole scene. I thought, yeah. Alright, for those of you that don't know what Doctor Who is, the Doctor is its name. It is an alien from the planet Gallifrey. Species name, Time Lord. The Doctor and other Time Lords like it, the body that they're in is literally a shell and nothing more. The actual living being is what's inside. It's like this gold, sparkly dust stuff. It's like a soul. Like, it's probably representative of a soul, I guess. I don't know. But regardless, the Doctor is the character, not whoever's playing the Doctor. Because each person that plays the Doctor has to have some relatively similar characteristics. Because it's the same. They're just the shell. Literally, they're just the shell. And when I watched the minute-long clip of the first ever female acted Doctor, all I saw on that screen was the Doctor. So it made me excited. Honestly, it made me nothing but excited. I feel like she gets it based on literally 60 seconds of screen time is my assessment. So it's not maybe an assessment to take to heart, but it just made me a little bit more excited for the show. So that should be coming back in October. Hopefully, check that out. Feel free to find it somewhere online. Doctor Who leak. That's just what I searched and found it. So check it out. I guess I'm gonna wrap it up though. I can't really think of anything offhand right now to talk at you guys about. But I do pinky promise this time. This will be posted sometime this week. It's Monday right now, so hopefully by tomorrow or the next day. And then solo or not, hopefully not. But solo or not, I'll be doing another one next week, and we're going to keep it rolling. New little mini studio thing, the Crypt, is still under production, but I'll be posting pictures of it when it's done. I will also be posting pictures of Maloik's new cage that I just got done setting up, so you guys can all check out this monstrosity that I have created. And check us out, watch out for pictures and fun stuff like that from the Devil Driver show, and hopefully the episode next week will just be a gigantic Devil Driver review of things. I guess I do got one more thing really, really quick. And this is just because I want to, I give shout outs to Metal Sucks Podcast and obviously my hero Kevin Smith. However, the podcast that I listen to by far the most is Joe Rogan, 100%. It's the best podcast. Like, I listen to I try to listen to every episode, except ever since he started doing these MMA shows. I'm just not a giant MMA fan personally, but I still do like to listen to the ones with Brendan Schaub and Eddie. However, lately, guys, let me tell you what, he went on a 3-episode tear. I'm talking about 3 of the greatest podcasts I have ever listened to in my life. Holy shit. Listen to this shit, people, alright? Episode 1136 with Hamilton Morris of Hamilton's Cornucopia from Viceland. People, holy fuck. So much of what they talked about was so mind-boggling and so fascinating. Just please listen to that one. I think everyone in the world should hear that fucking podcast. It's amazing. And then the next one after that with Duncan Trussell. Duncan Trussell is always outstanding. This one was especially fascinating. And I can't even believe I'm saying this. The next one after that, though, Ted fucking Nugent knocked it out of the park. Now, granted, he did say a couple crazy ass things. I'm not saying I loved every single word that came out of his mouth, but it was one of the best podcasts I've ever heard, and he is not at all what the media fucking portrays him to be, and definitely give that podcast a listen. Like, man, Joe Rogan, shout out. Like, he went on a fucking tear last week of just knockout. Oh yeah, and he had one with Joey Coco Diaz on the 4th of July. Holy shit, listen to that one too. Holy fucking shit. God damn it, Joey Coco Diaz is such a great one. Like, so good. Fucking check those out. So yeah, he just went on a goddamn tear of knockout show after knockout show. So check those out. Fucking fantastic. Man, they will keep your mind boggled. So yeah, check those out. That's all I got for you though. this time, I promise. That's all I got for you. So, I'll be back next week. Hopefully not alone. Regardless, next week will be a review episode of The Music Factory in Battle Creek, The Devil Driver Show, and hopefully the new Devil Driver Country Outlaw album. So, look forward to that. Enjoy your week. Thanks for listening. We love you all. Good night.